This week we're exploring eco-friendly living. Sure, we'll have some cool gadgets to show you, but we'll also talk to some folks who really are living green. Don't go anywhere. I know you'll have fun, but you might also learn a thing or two. This week we're looking at a number of ways to help you adopt a greener lifestyle. And we're just north of Los Angeles where it is very, very dry. They get hardly any rain at all, but there's a heck of a lot of people that live around here. So they really have to conserve every bit of water they use. Now recently, Alan checked in with our friend Ed Begley Jr. on something new he has at his house that'll help him really maximize his water.
So Ed, you've got a brand new book out. Easy read, by the way.
Thank you.
I love this. A lot of basics from, well, it's that low-hanging fruit that you talk about so much.
Right.
That you can do, up to something a little more elaborate.
Yeah, you want to start with the cheap and easy stuff. That's what I did in 1970. I was a broke, struggling actor in 1970. I didn't have a lot of money to do expensive solar panels and stuff like that. It took me 20 years, 2 decades to be able to afford stuff like solar electric panels. But I started with the cheap and easy stuff I could first, and that's what this book is about, starting small and building.
But I understand that you've got something so new, we're talking prototype.
I do. I'm always trying to try new things. I figured I'm done. I got the solar this and energy efficient that. What more could I do? I didn't have a gray water system, so I have a state-of-the-art gray water system that I'd like to show you.
Let me see it.
Come on over here. You'll see on the way a tank right there,
okay,
which I'll show you in a moment where that water goes to and how it gets there. But it starts, first of all, with great filtration. You take water from the shower, from the bathtub, the laundry, and even the bathroom sink. That's called gray water. And that gray water you can just put out in the lawn. Some people do that and use it in that way, but it's kind of soapy water. It doesn't look so good on your lawn. So you want to filter it a little bit, or in our case, you want to filter it a lot. So we take it through these filters, Alan, a great filtration system, 600 micron filter, another 600 micron filter, 200 micron filter, and then we go to activated charcoal and finally coal. All that filtration really takes it to the point where it's really recycle water, like a residential recycle water system, what they call purple pipe water,
right,
in a municipal recycle water system. It also goes through a UV filter that kills all the bacteria. So by the time you get down to that tank through all this filtration, it is water that has no odor, has no turbidity. It looks like really clear water. The sad thing is it's probably cleaner water than 95% of the world's population drinks. Mm-hmm. So it's a great system, and I use it not just on my, well, I don't have a lawn,
right,
but not just on my ornamentals, let's say, some of these drought-tolerant plants I put in 1988, but I also use it on my corn, my tomatoes, my fruit trees, all those food crops. You got to be careful with normal gray water because it has bacteria in it, Alan. You don't want to, you don't want to do things that are unsafe for health. So this water is so well polished, by the time I'm done, you can use it on food crops as well.
So many wonderful ideas, and so many that you can actually find in this book. You've got one more job, though.
What's that?
You've got to autograph this one for me.
Happily. I thought you'd never ask.
Ed and his wife Rochelle co-star in the Planet Green series, Living with Ed. And while Alan was talking with Ed, I had a chance to ask her about the challenges of green living. Rochelle, now, you and Ed have kind of become the first family of green in a lot of ways. Does that mean maybe a little compromise takes place every now and then?
I love the understatement. And it's usually on my side too.
Oh.
Yeah, the compromise is all about me. No, it's great. It's if you gotta stand for something, and this is a great thing to stand for. Ed has walked this walk way before I ever met him, and I thought, I could do it. I mean, we've been together for 16, 17 years.
I see.
So in the beginning, I thought, well, yeah, I can do this, and then I tried and went, God, this is really hard. This is really hard. But it's like every year I get a little better at it.
Well, a lot of people, I think, when they're trying to adapt more of a greener lifestyle, they think they have to sacrifice a lot, but hey, this isn't much sacrifice. I mean, you've got internet, you've got hot and cold running water, you got a roof over your head, so it's not too bad.
I have actually some luxuries too. I have a great car, I have a Prius.
Yeah.
It has a great electric car. We have You know, Ed made compromises with me. I mean, when I first met him, there was no heat, there was no air conditioning.
Oh boy.
Well, let's just say it was minimal. And now he has, you know, I mean, he wouldn't be in a relationship otherwise.
Right,
so one
sure.
has to get that, and he has. And we have solar, so it helps mitigate any of the cost and
Right.
the carbon footprint. And so every year we've done something else to make our life a little easier. Now we have a gray water system, which helps, you know, we can have more plants.
Right,
we can,
sure.
You know, every year we get a little more, and now I'm going to do a remodel. So that's my next step.
Oh, there you go. Well, there's a lot of ways when you're approaching a remodeling project that you can be green. And a lot of the contractors are trying to catch on.
I know.
But, you know, nursing them along a little bit and how to recycle things and how to reuse things, that'll be a challenge for you as well.
Oh, I know, and I'm terrified. But I'm up for the challenge. I've been with Ed for almost 17 years. I think I can handle it now. I couldn't have handled it 17 years ago, but now I'm up for the challenge.
If you find it challenging painting directly from a can of paint, you may have noticed at the paint stores they sell special containers that you can decant some paint into, so you don't have to carry around the whole gallon. Well, if you're a coffee drinker, you may have the solution right in your house already. Some coffee companies are selling coffee in plastic jugs, such as this. Has a lid and a nice little handle, makes it really easy to carry paint in. And the other thing I like is I only usually add 2 or 3 inches of paint, so it's very lightweight. I can dip in my brush, and because there's only a couple inches of paint in there, I can tap off the bristles on the side, which is very hard to do in a full can of paint. And I can apply just enough paint, just exactly the right amount of paint. Now the other nice thing about this is it has a tight-fitting plastic lid which you can snap on, and if you look at the handle, it's hollow. It's the perfect size for storing a paintbrush. Try that with a regular can of paint.
This week we're on the road in California to learn more about eco-friendly living. We've been visiting with actor and environmentalist Ed Begley Jr. and his wife, Rochelle Carson Begley. A simple walk around their LA home reveals dozens of ways to minimize our environmental impact, especially in the landscape that surrounds it.
It was 1995, I guess, and there was an old fence here put up in the 70s by the previous owner. I bought this home in '88, and the only way was standing up. The termites were holding hands. So I knew how to do something, and I didn't want to take down a bunch of trees because I'm always saying, hey, don't take down those trees, let's save those trees. So I had to put my money where my mouth is, find an alternative, and I got this recycled plastic fence. Rochelle fought me on it. When she heard I was getting recycled milk jugs for a fence, she said, if I see low fat and I see barcode, you are so divorced. I said, honey, you won't see any of it, trust me.
Yeah, that is the first image people have with recycled milk jugs in decks and other
Right.
things like that. They do think of the lids and everything
They're gonna
else.
see that
Handles
stuff.
on it. You have a handle on it. So.
But it looks great.
It does look great, and there are more and more of these plastic lumber products hitting the market every day. Some, like Ed's fence, are all plastic, but many of the ones designed for decking and fencing are composites of plastic and wood fiber. In many cases, that wood fiber or sawdust is also recycled material, but not all plastic composites are necessarily made from recycled materials. Some are made from virgin petroleum. So if green is your reason for buying them, it's a good idea to do some checking into the origins of the products you're considering before you bring them home to install.
Last season we introduced a new string trimmer, and what makes this so unique is that it's very environmentally friendly, powered by propane. It's the Eco Trimmer from Lear. Now this is a company always moving forward, and I've got the company's CEO and founder, Captain Bernardo Herzer. We're talking about something brand new, the new generation. This is, can I call it the Eco Blower?
Alan, you sure can. Thank you so much for having us. And we're so excited to bring the same technology that has won the EPA Clean Air Excellence Award now to the 25cc propane-powered leaf blower. And this is a leaf blower that is not only powered by propane, it's also a vacuum and a mulcher.
Oh, so a 3-in-1.
It's a 3-in-1, correct.
A mulcher even?
It's a mulcher, and with that it has a steel mulching blade on the back side of it. And you can see the blade down in here.
Oh, yeah.
And it runs on the same technology, which is the propane powered, so it's the ease of use, no having to mix gas and oil, no storing of gasoline in your garage. Propane is a very convenient, very economical, and good for the environment gas, so we believe this is the future of outdoor handheld power.
Now I have used the Eco Trimmer. I know that it's very easy to use. I'm assuming just as easy, but before you tell me about how easy it is, can I brag a minute? Can I brag just a minute? Talk about an award. The state, not the state, the city of Los Angeles and the U.S. Congress even said, yeah, we like it.
That's correct. I mean, we've gotten all kinds of recognitions, including the SEED Award in Southern California for our standing leadership in environmental. And the reason for that is because this is truly a better way to run your equipment. I mean, the ease of use, the reductions in particulates. There's 97% less particulates in this. And particulates is a reason for a lot of health disease. We have had the good fortune of teaming up with the American Lung Association, and we're excited about that, reducing the amount of carcinogens in the air by 96%. And also with a zero ozone depleting hydrocarbon potential. This truly is an environmental winner, and by reducing our dependency on foreign oil by using propane, the environment wins, the consumer wins, everybody wins.
While I get the full demonstration of this new eco-friendly tool, Danny's back at Ed's house talking landscape lighting.
What do you think about all the solar power things in terms of landscaping and everything, Ed? Those things used to hardly even glow, but they're starting to really get the hang of that.
Well, they finally got on to the LED version. Those are much better. They got a little tiny LED light, and they got a better panel, and they got the right kind of battery. They used to put nickel cadmium, and nickel cadmium are like people. They forget, you know, very slowly.
Right,
you know,
right.
They remember how you treat them.
Sure, yeah.
So if you don't fully charge and fully deplete them, but with the nickel metal hydride batteries, you can half charge them, half deplete them. Doesn't matter.
Those LED lamps Ed's talking about are showing up everywhere these days. In fact, Jody has a new twist on them in this week's Best New Product.
The buzzword of the day is efficiency, especially when you're talking about energy efficiency and you're applying that to light bulbs, because now everybody's replacing their incandescent bulbs with compact fluorescent bulbs. But look at the new kid on the block. Here's another energy efficient bulb. This is an LED light bulb. Now, you usually find LED lights in Christmas lights or low voltage lighting, but now Philips has come out with one that you can use practically everywhere in your home where you've got recess or track lighting. The nice thing about this is it can last up to 15 years, and you're going to recoup some of your money back on the investment of this bulb because you do save so much energy in your power bills. Now, the couple of things that I like about this is with LED bulbs, you typically get a harsh, bright light, but this one puts out a nice, soft, white light. Another thing is it doesn't have any hum. The recessed lighting that I have in my kitchen, it just creates this nice little hum that after a while I have to shut the light off because I can't stand it anymore. This is guaranteed not to hum. You know, you are going to spend a little more money on the original investment of this light bulb, but again, you're going to recoup that over the life of the bulb. That right there is worth its weight in gold.
This week we're hanging out in LA to look into all kinds of ideas for eco-friendly living. We've looked at some pretty cool new tools, materials, and systems to help reduce your home's impact on the planet, some of which we found at the home of our friend Ed Begley Jr. and his wife Rochelle. Their commitment to green living also includes making everyday lifestyle choices with the environment in mind. We're continuing that discussion just a few doors down the street with one of Ed and Rochelle's neighbors, TV icon of scientific trivia, Bill Nye. Well, Bill, let me ask you this. You know, over the years, the whole technology thing has just changed the house so much, you know, with wireless and all of the cordless tools and everything like that. And you have all kind of different aspects of technology here. What are some of your favorite gadgets that you have at the Bill Nye house?
Oh, well, we love our solar panels. Solar panels are nothing but fun, and we love our solar hot water system. Now, here's a mystery.
Okay.
We have entrepreneurs, we have attorneys that protect intellectual property, we have big box home improvement stores. We should have readily available, standardized solar hot water systems.
I agree.
And you could say, well, Bill, why don't you go in that business? And my answer would be, well, maybe I will. It just seems like such a no-goalie situation. You know?
Right.
So if you step back here, you can see just a glimpse of my solar hot water collector. And the technology is a big flat box made of aluminum, and I went for the high-end one.
Right.
Mine's not painted. Mine is anodized. And anodized is a word that comes from the anode. So you put the aluminum on the anode, and the surface becomes impregnated with aluminum oxide, which is a ceramic material. And everybody, you've all got anodized stuff in your life. It's just very tough. It stays black kind of forever. And so that gets really hot, and there's a just copper pipe that zigzags through the box, and it gets quite hot. This time of year, it's late summer, or it's about to be fall.
Right.
That box will get to be 50 Celsius. It's 120 Fahrenheit. Just for free.
Right,
Okay,
right.
for free.
And the water heater represents 13-14% of your utility bill anyway,
That's
so
right, yeah.
heck of a good start in bringing that cost
And
down.
so in California, they had a great deal in the 1980s, and you meet these guys, the plumbers that used to work there. We used to work in that business, rather. Oh yes, I used to have 50 crews, this guy told me. Not 50 people.
Right.
50 crews of
Whoa.
4 guys.
Wow.
And so this part of Southern California, like in the 818, like in the valley,
Right.
like where we like totally live, there are a lot of these systems still in service. But the economy went in such a way that people didn't think that was a good investment in the 1980s, and now, of course, everybody looks back, you know. So we'll see.
Besides heating water, saving is also important.
It has been a very long time since I have seen a toilet tank this size. This is a 5-gallon toilet tank. And you know what? It's just not water efficient. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this right. Now, this is called the Hydro Right, and this is a dual flush converter, and it's very easy to install. As a matter of fact, we just recently installed one of these, and it took under 10 minutes to do it. And the nice thing about this is that it allows you to use less water when you go to flush the commode. Once it's installed, you can press the 1 button, and it only has 1 little dot on there, if you're just going to flush liquids. If you're going to flush solids, you just press the button that has the 2 little dots on it. Now, you know, you can buy a toilet that actually is a dual flush toilet. But to be quite honest with you, those are very expensive. And so if you just install this, you can pick this up for under about 30 bucks. So look at all the savings in not only cash, but also in water that you're using, and it's going to help the environment. Now let's check in on Danny and see what he's got going for us for green.
Would you believe that sometimes thinking green is not such a good idea? Making paper logs for your fireplace is one of those times. In theory, it's pretty green. You take several sheets of newspaper and you roll them nice and tight until you have a cylinder about 3 to 4 inches in diameter, and you have a log for your fireplace without having to cut down a single tree. But here's the problem. The only way newspaper can burn effectively is to machine compress it. Otherwise, it burns too hot and fast, and that can damage your flue. Plus, if you've ever seen paper burning outside, you know how much ash it throws up in the air, and those hot pieces can actually start an unwanted fire by igniting the creosote buildup inside your chimney. So before you start thinking you're doing Mother Nature a favor, think again. The best thing to do with those old newspapers is to recycle, not burn. This week we've been on the West Coast digging into the subject of eco-friendly living. What we found is that some of that depends on cool new technologies and gadgets, but eco-living also relies on the lifestyle choices of homeowners, whether they make their living here on the small screen or not. We can all be more careful handling vital resources like water, using cleaner forms of energy, and choose materials from renewable sources when we improve our homes. In the process, we'll also be improving the environment we live in. As you can see, there's a lot of ways that you can develop some new green habits so that you can save money each and every month. And along the way, we'll be saving our natural resources so that we can continue to enjoy beautiful scenes like this. Hey, I'm Danny Lipford. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next week here on Today's Homeowner. Tune in next week to see how a cool addition to a historic home meets the needs of a growing family.
Then I'll show you one other nerd man thing. If you look under here, the paint cans are labeled on the bottom. So you can find which one you're looking for.